French Revolution, revolutionary movement that rocked France between 1787 and 1799, a period of radical political and social upheaval in France that had a lasting impact on French history, and more broadly, on Europe as a whole. This revolution is one of the world's great revolutions that is capable of changing the order of people's lives. The absolute monarchy that had ruled France for centuries collapsed within 3 years. The French people experienced an epic socio-political transformation. Feudalism, aristocracy, and absolute monarchy were overthrown by left-wing radical political groups, by mobs in the streets, and by peasant communities in rural areas. Old ideas related to the traditions and hierarchy of the monarchy, aristocracy, and the Catholic Church were suddenly overthrown and replaced by new principles. Fear of overthrow spread to other monarchies across Europe, which sought to restore old monarchical traditions to prevent popular uprisings. Conflict between supporters and opponents of the revolution continued for the next 2 centuries. In the midst of the financial crisis that hit France, King Louis XVI ascended the throne in 1774. King Louis, driven by the development of Enlightenment ideas and radical sentiment, the French Revolution began in 1789 with a meeting held in May. The first years of the French Revolution began with the proclamation of the Tennis Oath in June by the Third État, followed by the attack on the Bastille in July, the Declaration of the Rights of Man and of the Citizen in August, and the Women's March on Versailles that forced the royal court to move returns to Paris in October. In the next few years, the French Revolution was dominated by the struggles of liberals and left-wing supporters of the monarchy who attempted to thwart the reforms. A republic was founded in December 1792 and King Louis XVI was executed a year later. The French Revolutionary Wars began in 1792 and ended with a spectacular French victory. France succeeded in conquering the Italian peninsula, the Low Countries, and most of the territory west of the Rhine. France's greatest achievement in centuries, the Radical Revolution culminated in the rise to power of Maximilien Robespierre, the Jacobins, and a virtual dictatorship by the Committee of Public Safety during the Reign of Terror from 1793 to 1794. During this period, between 16,000 and 40,000 French people died. After the fall of the Jacobins and the execution of Robespierre, the Directory took over control of the country from 1795 to 1799, and was replaced by the Consulate under Napoleon Bonaparte in 1799. The French Revolution has had a profound impact on the development of modern history. The growth of republics and liberal democracies, the spread of secularism, the development of modern ideologies, and the invention of the idea of total war are some of the legacies of the French Revolution. Later events also linked to the Revolution were the Napoleonic Wars, 2 separate monarchical restoration events, the Bourbon Restoration and the July Monarchy, as well as 2 other revolutions in 1834 and 1848, gave birth to modern France. Most historians believe that the main cause of the French Revolution was dissatisfaction with the Ancien Regime. More specifically, historians also emphasize the existence of class conflict from a Marxist perspective, a common occurrence in the late 19th century. An unhealthy economy, poor harvests, rising food prices, and an inadequate transportation system are things that fuel people's hatred of the government. The series of events leading to the revolution was triggered by government bankruptcy due to a poor tax system and huge debts resulting from France's involvement in various major wars. France's attempt to challenge England, the world's leading military power at the time, in the 7 Years' War ended in disaster, leading to the loss of French possessions in North America and the destruction of the French Navy. The French army rebuilt and was victorious in the American Revolutionary War, but the war was extremely expensive and notably produced no real gains for France. France's financial system was in decline and the kingdom was unable to handle the country's huge debt. Faced with this financial crisis, the king summoned a House of Lords in 1787, the first for more than a century. Meanwhile, the royal family lived comfortably at Versailles and seemed indifferent to the growing crisis. Although in theory King Louis' opponents of Louis's policies grew in number and attempted to overthrow the monarchy in various ways, for example by distributing pamphlets reporting false and exaggerated information to criticize the government and its officials, which further strengthened public opinion against the monarchy. Another factor thought to have contributed to the French Revolution was hatred of government, which arose with the development of Enlightenment ideals. These included hatred of royal absolutism, hatred by peasants, workers, and the bourgeoisie towards the privileges of the nobility, hatred of the Catholic Church for its influence in public policy and in state institutions. The desire to fight for religious freedom, the hatred of poor rural priests for aristocratic bishops, the desire to realize social, political, economic equality, as well as, especially during the Revolution, republicanism, hatred of Queen Marie Antoinette, accused of being an Austrian spendthrift and spy, as well as anger at the king for dismissing financial treasurer Jacques Necker, one of the people considered to be the representative of the people in the kingdom. The French Revolution gave rise to secularism over Christian religion. This secularism then eliminates religion and turns it into a social and political field. Christian theology, which stated that Christianity was the only true religion, was changed by developing the concepts of inclusivism and pluralism. In the field of religious organizations, the concept of formal religion is eliminated by developing the concept of religion as an activity. In the field of biblical studies, secularists deconstruct the concept of the Bible as God's Word through hermeneutics. Then, they developed a method of historical criticism of the Bible. The main impact that the French Revolution had on the political system was clearly absolute power, which was strongly criticized by the people. More than that, the liberal ideology that emerged with the French Revolution spread very quickly to all corners of the world such as Spain, Germany, Russia, Austria, and Italy. With the French Revolution, the understanding of democracy, parliamentarism, republics, and so on also grew, which of course also began to grow in other countries. In the French revolutionary struggle, we can clearly see that social stratification in the country was abolished, giving equal rights and obligations to all people and providing freedom in determining religion, education, and work. The abolition of the guild system, namely the system of trading regulations. With the abolition of this system, trade and industry could develop quite well in France after the French Revolution. On the other hand, farmers' lives have also improved. This is due to the elimination of feudal taxes, and apart from being cultivators of the land, farmers are also given the right to own land. In this way, farmers' income and standard of living slowly increase.